So I've been down to the Carer Centre and met with the new team of counsellors, for instance, and I know that they are thinking of sending people who are on their waiting list to speak to a listener in the meanwhile. So sometimes we find that people that are on waiting lists for counselling, perhaps with a GP or somebody else, comes along to the listening service, and they may find that actually what they really need is somebody to listen to them. It may not be that they need actually to enter into a course of counselling. So
okay, good. That's good, and that is good that people have got that service to go to in between the waiting time, haven't they? Which is good for to offer somebody that in the meantime, I suppose.
Yeah, because we don't have a waiting list as such.
Okay.
At the moment, I just checked in with the team today who take the calls. At the moment, we can usually offer somebody a session with us within a week.
That's
so
great.
It's, and that's the intention. The intention is that it's an early intervention service. It's not a long-term service. Normally, the majority of people that come along for a listening session will come once or twice. Very few people come for more than 3 or 4 sessions, and we will offer people up to 6 sessions, but it's rare that somebody wants that length of time with us. And if they do, then that's usually an indication that they perhaps need to be going into counselling instead of using the listening service. But you can do both at the same time. We do sometimes have people coming for a listening session when they're in counselling because they may want to talk about the counselling.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the joy of the listening service is that you can come along and talk for up to 50 minutes. That's 50, that's nearly an hour. And you can talk about anything at all. So, whatever it is, you're welcome to bring it along. And I mean, for me, I often think it must be like having a really nice big hot bath when you're tired, to sit and speak about whatever you want to speak about for 50 minutes. It's rare, and we can't do that very easily with other people. And sometimes people come along and speak to us because they may have lots of loving family and friends around them, but they need to speak to somebody that's away outside of whatever it is that's going on.
Is there a certain criteria? I know you said it was obviously for carers in Dundee. Is there a certain age limit for that, Lorraine? Or
our service generally is 16 years and up. So nobody really below 16. And as I said at the beginning, although I'm here particularly for carers in Dundee, I really want everybody to hold on to the fact that if you're not based in Dundee or somebody out with Dundee that you think might benefit from some listening, then we're available across the whole of Tayside. So if you're a carer in Dundee and you get in touch in the next few days, you'll probably be directed towards me. Whereas if you're anywhere else, you'll be directed to one of the team of listeners who could be anywhere across Tayside. We're based in lots of GP practices here in Dundee. So we have a listener who is associated and goes regularly to the same practice and listens to people there and is usually referred by the GP or one of the team of nurses. But we also have a lot of people now who are doing telephone listening. Since COVID, we switched across almost immediately to lots of telephone listening, and that's been really helpful for some people. For some people, it's easier for them to speak to somebody who isn't sitting in front of them, and that's been a real benefit. So that is possible. The other thing is that it's about people don't sit and listen in silence. So it isn't like counselling where you will have a kind of program or a plan in mind to deal with whatever it is the person's brought. But it's also not a case of someone just sitting and listening. They may ask questions just to, the sort of, where and the when kind of questions. And they may also say something like, I wonder whatever, I wonder how that was, or, how was that for you, or something. So it's not a case, I always think that people might be a bit afraid that they're going to come along and somebody's going to sit and look at them while they talk. And it really isn't like that. It's much more a conversation with somebody that won't be judging and won't be commenting on anything that you're saying in a negative way. It's very much an assets-based service. So what we're doing when we're listening to someone is we're listening out for the benefits that somebody may have
Yeah.
that they may have just forgotten about or lost touch with. So on the card that we hand out to people, there's a little logo in it, and it says, "Finding hope, exploring stories, and discovering strength." And I think that's what we're really doing. We're really trying to help people to find a bit of hope in a situation that might be looking a bit hopeless at this time.
Yeah.
And rediscovering strength in the sense that, you know, somebody may have been through something in the past which they've come through and they've gained some resilience from, and they may have lost sight of that.
Yeah.
So that's something that we're very much looking out for, because, you know, most of the time when people come along and they've got something that's a kind of puzzle for them or a difficulty for them, I usually find that they've got the solution themselves. I'm not giving them a solution. They've got it, but they just can't quite see it. And when they sit down and they talk for that length of time with somebody else listening really carefully, then quite often you'll see the light bulb moment, you know, and they'll go, "Oh, yeah, I've been here before," or "When that happened before, this was what I did and that was really helpful," or, you know, whatever it is. And it's just so satisfying when that happens, you know. And obviously sometimes, yeah, you can't see an asset, you know, sometimes something is just really difficult. And the benefit then is that you're just listening, you know, you're sitting in a room and letting them talk without trying to find a solution for them. You know, we're not looking for solutions.
Good. Well, I think that it sounds great, Lorraine. I think it's a really good service that's available to people to access. And like you say, talking is sometimes the best medicine, isn't it? Sometimes, and it does help you find that thing that's kind of bothering you, and helps you get to the end of it, hopefully. So it sounds good. Now, we've covered, how do people, if they wanted to access the service, get involved then?
So we have a phone number which you will have available to people. We also have an email address, and there's a mobile number so you can text and ask for an appointment. Also, you can ask at your local GP practice as well, you know, because there may be a listener who's already there in your practice. So that's also another possibility. We've got, I mean, the local GPs know what a good service is. We're very closely aligned with local primary care, so they know the benefit. And it's, you know, it's just helpful for everybody. It's one of those services that people want to be engaged with.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, thank you very much for that, Lorraine. And like Lorraine said, we will pop all the details below. There'll be a web page for the community listening service, a phone number and an email address, which we'll pop in the comment section below. But yeah, thank you for that, Lorraine. And
okay, not at all.
All the best with this in the future. And yeah, we will speak with you soon.
Okay, thank you. Bye.